speed, skill, stamina. 3 words our Aussie swimmers know all too well. For the next 9 days, we will witness the largest and most anticipated meet on the swimming calendar. The next generation of young Aussie athletes, more than 2,600 of them, across 400 clubs, will gather here at the iconic Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, ready for battle. Stroke for stroke, to be crowned the next Australian age champion. We'll see triumphs, we'll see records broken, we'll see it all. And you have the best seat in the house, right here, live and exclusive on 9 Now.
Over 350 clubs involved as well, and a little bit of cloud, but a little bit of rain this morning. But that certainly won't dampen the spirits of some very excited age swimmers in these multi-class categories. Really looking forward to seeing what they can produce over the next 2 days of competition. And plenty of teams on offer as well for our age athletes as well. Big program coming up this year. The Commonwealth Youth Games in Trinidad and Tobago in August. And the big one, the World Junior Swimming Championships in Israel in September. That's the big team. Team of 32, Junior Dolphins. This is where it all starts as well for our future Paralympians. A turnaround so quick from Tokyo now to Paris. Paris Games just over 15 months away. And we'll now throw it out onto pool deck, and please welcome Uncle John Graham, our local custodian of the Gold Coast, to perform our Welcome to Country.
Morning everyone, it's a real pleasure to be here today. Not the best of days, but hopefully the rain stays off for the rest of the day. It's a real honour and privilege to be here to do the welcome for you from our local mob here. Bagel Yungai Jimbalais. Hello friends, my name's John Graham. I'm a proud Kumbamerri man, a saltwater man of Gold Coast. Our people are part of the wider Yugambeh language group, whose land stretched from the Logan River in the north, down to the Tweed, to the other side of the Great Dividing Range, out past Bow Desert, up to a place called Teviot Brook in the north, and bordered by the beautiful Pacific Ocean. Kumbamerri land stretched from the Goomera, which is the Coomera River in the north, down to the Tweed and to the foothills in the mountains. As it all welcomes, I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. It was old people that fought the good fight in dark and desperate times in order for people of our generation to work with other Australians towards a reconciled nation, in order for us to leave a legacy for our young people. For they're the bearers of the flame, keepers of the knowledge, keep our culture strong into the future. I pay my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people across this nation, and I pay my respects to the spirit of this land and her people, which includes all of you here today. My authority to speak comes through Waru, my epical ancestor, who grew up on the banks of the Logan and Nerang River, Naringwal, place of the shovel-nosed ray. In a later life, she came and lived with the daughter Jenny and husband Andrew, who were the river masters of the mighty Nerang River, long before all the canal estates and skyscrapers were built. We lived on a small island called Gardner Island, Graham Island, just down from the Southport Bridge on Brighton Parade for many, many decades. Our people were sustained by the abundance of seafood from both the river and the ocean. Our footprint remains strong in this built environment because our sovereignty was never ceded. We are and always will be the traditional custodians of this place. I say custodians, others say owners, and that's their prerogative. But I believe that Mother Earth has sustained us for eons of time, and we as Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have always given back. It's a message I give to small groups, medium-sized groups and large-sized groups. It's a message for a sustainable future for all of us, not just for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, but a sustainable environment. And you as swimmers and people in the swimming fraternity, I give that a message to you, because you are engaged with a lot of stuff with the seawater as well as fresh water. It's a message I always give. I've had the pleasure of welcoming you here to this place. I ask you several things. Respect this place, Southport. Respect the fauna and flora. Respect each other. And most importantly, respect yourselves. Really enjoy the swimming championships. Stay safe to all of you, including especially the swimmers, and have a great time and a safe time while you're on the Gold Coast here. Until we meet again, Anya Boo, Anya Boo. See you later. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle John. And we'd now like to welcome Alex Tuckfield to read the athlete oath.
In the name of all competitors, I promise that we will take part in these championships, respecting and abiding by the rules which govern them, in the true spirit of sportsmanship, for the glory of the sport, in honour of all teams.
So thank you, Alex and Uncle John there for our welcome, and just moments away from a start now for our Day 1 Heats program, the 2023 Australian Age Championships. And joining me in commentary all week long, two-time Olympian Megan Ney, two-time Paralympian Braden Jason. Very good morning to you both. And yeah, big Day 1 Heats program coming up.
Yeah, how exciting. The Gold Coast has absolutely turned it on, and I cannot wait for all the swimming action over the next 7 to 9 days. And what a way to kick it off, Braden. We've got some really young swimmers coming through for the multi-class today, and looking forward to the 100 freestyle and the 100 backstroke.
Yeah, I think 100 freestyle is definitely one of those events that we've got to watch out for. Obviously, Alex Tuckfield, who just gave us an awesome rendition of the athlete's oath. He is a bronze medalist over in Tokyo, and he's gearing up, focusing now on the 100 freestyle. So I think he's definitely one to watch in that event. Also, I think another one I'm looking forward to is the 200 IM at the back end of the program. Our S14 athletes are going to absolutely smash that one out. I'd say our Rackley athletes, there's two fantastic S14 athletes out there. I think they're definitely my ones to watch in that point score.
Yeah, we've got those para explainers there as well for those joining us online who have never seen a multi-class swimming event before. All there, para swimming open to all three impairment groups, visual, intellectual and physical. And Braden there, that system, letters and numbers 1 to 19 used to distinguish the classes.
Yes, so S stands for swimming, and then M is a SM would be medley, and SB would be breaststroke. But the numbers work, so 1 to 10 is a physical impairment, with 1 being the most severely impaired and 10 being the least impaired. 11 to 13 is our visual impairment classes, 11 being the most impaired as well, and 13 being the least visually impaired but still legally blind. And leading into our 14, our intellectually impaired, and then leading up into our S19 classes as well, with transplant and other impairments as well. So lots of numbers out there, and that's something we're going to be watching when people touch the walls. Not necessarily the time, it's the points that come up.
Love it. Well, let's get it underway. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to Pool Deck, your starters here for Event 1. It's the girls 12 to 18 years, 100 metres freestyle multi-class. There'll be 7 heats for this event. First heat of 7 away, and just for those in the stands and watching online, just to know that all these heats will be swum as combined age groups and seeded on the time fastest to slowest. And we'll be contesting finals tonight for age groups including 12 to 13 years, 14, 15 years, and 16 to 18 years. And B finals held for all 50 and 100 metre events, as long as there's 24 swimmers in each of the heats.
And how exciting, we're underway at the 2023 Australian Age Swimming Championships. 100 freestyle here for the 12 to 18 years multi-class swimmers. And don't forget about those point scores. So we're after those high point scores. They're all trying to get a swim in their classifications or their age groups as well. So not necessarily the time as they come down the last 15 metres. And we'll see how those point scores go. We've got 7 heats of the women's 100 metre freestyle as they go into touch.
Yeah, so it looks like a win there. Kale Thompson for Sunshine Coast Grammar. First to touch the wall, 102.72. Score there, you can see 629 points. Behind the blocks, we have the swimmers in Heat 2.
Good, and you, mate? Yeah, not too bad. How you been? Good, and you? Oh. Same old. Got a few races this one? Just one. Yeah, it's got a few. Gonna next week, we're gonna have probably about 7. Okay. Yep. All too young. All too young. Weather's turned on the back. It's supposed to be the worst day of the year. Getting through today, then it's going to be all right. Yeah. How is this done? Yeah, right. Always not going to be too fast, but overall they're solid. Yeah. They're obviously in a bit better position than others. Cross our fingers, 3-8. That's too far up. Yeah, the power thing is really big to what we're going to do. Shake it off, get ready for the next one.
And Heat 2 is underway with one of our S15 athletes, Abby Fuller from Traralgon, in there battling it out. And for those at home who are interested in what the S15 classification is, that is our athletes who are hearing impaired. So Abby obviously cannot hear the starters go, but actually reacts to a light that is put down to the side of her blocks. So if anything, light travels faster than sound, so hey, maybe she has a bit of an added advantage on that reaction time. Hey guys.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, that's for sure. Good start. Down here, and so not always first to touch the wall. That will be the winner. They're going against their own world record in their allotted classification, so it's all about the points. See the points come up on the board as well. Nearly more here, 15-year-old from Crofts Harbour coming down to touch at 105.7. So you can see there 354 points, but some good scoring there. Looks like Victoria Belando Nicholson in the S9, nice score of 699.
699, a fantastic point score there. I think anything over that 700 mark, you're really looking to make a mark in a dint and hopefully getting into that final. So fantastic swim there with a really good point score of 699 points there.
And behind the blocks now we have the competitors in Heat 3.
Maybe 200 and then a few HBOs.
and then we'll do a 200 AM warm-up later on.
So away here, heat 3, our first event of the morning. Day 1 of our 2023 Australian Age Swimming Championships. And this girl's 12 to 18 years, 100 freestyle multi-class. And just a reminder again that all heats this morning will be swum as combined age groups, seated on fastest times to the slowest times. And then we'll divide them up tonight depending on their rankings. And they'll be contesting finals in the 12 to 13, 14 to 15, 16 to 18 years as well as B finals.
Yeah, some pretty good experience here too. Some of the young girls get to swimming, being able to swim against some of the older girls. So pretty cool experience in the heats when they're combined together, but it will be their age groups tonight. So all important point scores coming up. We saw 699 in that previous heat, 629 in the first heat. So this is heat number 3 of the girls 12 to 18, 100 metre freestyle multi-class, and they'll have about 15 metres to swim. And day number 1 here at the 2023 Australian Age Swimming Championships. And it's all very exciting for this 100 metre freestyle. So they come down to touch, 291 points. Keep an eye on those point scores.
Yeah, Nika Gibson there from Nudgee College, first to touch, the 15-year-old. So looking for the highest score there. Might be Holly Warren out there, the 14-year-old from St Hilda's with a 640.
Local girl scoring 640, sorry, from St Hilda's. So she may have a bit of a home ground advantage being here on the Gold Coast. So hopefully we can see her rep it up again in the finals tonight.
So you can see those results there on the screen. Warren at the bottom there, that 640 point score. And beside the blocks now, we have the swimmers in Heat 4. This girl's 12 to 18 years, 100 metres, freestyle multi-class.
Let's go, Sienna.
Heat number 4 into the water.
Out in lane 0, we have Lily Ann Gould, who is the sister of Samuel Gould, one of the, I'd call him a veteran of the para sport here. And so he'll be definitely repping it out in that 100 metre freestyle coming up. But hey, we've got the sister out there first, obviously warming up the water for everyone else.
Yeah, tight at the halfway mark. And Gould, just 12 years of age from Helensvale. One of our youngest competitors in the age championships.
I think it'd be safe to say it'd be our first age championships there, being 12, just scraping into that age bracket. So good on her, first age championships.
And Isabella Wills here from the Mackay Cyclones, 14 years of age. Coming down as well. So Wills will be first to touch. 111.26. So she'll be the top point scorer there as well on 543. So now we'll likely see her in that 14 to 15 years final later tonight. Oh, bit of a fist pump there. Plenty of excitement on day one. See their wheels there, top scorer. 543 points with her 111.26 S10 classification. And behind the blocks now, we have the swimmers in Heat 5.
Actually training to go to Japan for the Masters. Something to do. Oh, I got one of the swimmers. She was going over, but she only told me last week that she's got lupus. That's something to stop her. So she's not training, so she might go.
So Heat 5 in the water, and Braden, plenty of nerves on pool deck this morning. Lots of youngsters, their first ever age nationals, and just trying to get off to a good start.
Yeah, age nationals, one of those experiences I think we all went through here on the commentary desk, and it's one of those exciting moments, and it really does set the scene for hopefully a long-lasting professional career leading into your older age groups. But yeah, it really helps you kind of iron out those processes. But yeah, first day nerves, but hey, these girls are making it look easy, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's always exciting on the first day of Australian age. And like you said, a lot of these multi-class competitors as well, their first ever nationals, and great experience for them. Great little tussle in this one across the pool. Emmeline Giroud here, 12 years of age, from Randwick City. S10 classification. Puts the head down for the finish. Stops the clock at 1:17.16, 428. Nice swim there by Emily Willett from Onkaparinga, the 16-year-old. Yes, 618 points. Anything in the 600s. Great little morning swim. I don't think she can believe her time. Under the 120 mark. Let's see, top point scorer there will be Willett. Heat 5 leaves the water. And just 2 heats remaining. So behind the blocks now, the swimmers in Heat 6 of the girls, 12 to 18 years, 100 metres freestyle multi-class. Heat 6 into the water, and Megan, for you, a big few days for these competitors, and you'll get likely most of these swimmers backing up 3, 4, 5, 6 events, won't they?
Yeah, so exciting. You can see some of them big smiles at the end, and they're all pretty much chasing a personal best. As a swimmer, that's, you know, against yourself, against the clock, a personal best time. You can't get better than that. So these young girls chasing a personal best, and yeah, some of them might be doing the 100 backstroke or the 50 butterfly, the 200 IM coming up this morning. So getting, you know, blowing out those cobwebs as a swimmer. You know, the first couple of swims at age nationals, like you said, there's probably a few nerves, but these girls absolutely dominating this 6th heat of the 100-metre freestyle, and all in point scores. We've seen some pretty big point scores in those 600-metre swims, but it is against their classification, against their world records. So we'll keep an eye on that. But some really good swims this morning, and all chasing those finals and their personal bests tonight as well.
want to get into those finals tonight. Finals for the 12 to 13, 14 to 15 and 16 to 18 years. Some B finals as well. A great second 50 outside there. Like Millicent Campbell of New Swim. First to touch. 21.43, 396 point score.
Looks like some pretty big PBs there off their times from the program here. So great swimming by these young girls on day one here at the 2023 Australian Age Swimming Championships.
And Georgia Beerling there for Winona, the 15-year-old, 4:37. And also Lucinda Foley of UWA West Coast. Top point scorer by just a solitary point. Against her S7 rival, Lexi Phillips. And up next behind the blocks, it's our 7th and final heat. The girls 12 to 18 years, 100 metres freestyle multi-class. So this is it, our final heat of the girls 12 to 18 years, 100 freestyle multi-class. Finals contested tonight in the 3 age groups, 12 to 13 years, 14 to 15 years and 16 to 18 years. And we'll also have B finals to be held for any 50 and 100 metre events, provided at least 24 swimmers contest the heats in each of those finals age brackets.
And coming down to touch in lane number 5, Paige Dolby, and she'll touch in 1:29.98. So under their qualifying times that they've put in, maybe their personal best, as these swimmers in the girls 12 to 18 years 100 metre freestyle, our first event on the program here at the 2023 Australian Age Swimming Championships. And some great swimming as Griffin comes in to touch 230 points. Pretty solid swim there.
Yeah, just 12 years of age from the Essendon club, Molly Griffin. Look at the results from that last heat being displayed now. Claire Graham there from Young, 283 points. And behind the blocks now, we turn our attention to event 2. It's heats of the boys, 12 to 18 years, 100 metres freestyle multi-class. There'll be 6 heats for this event. First up, heat 1. So away in the first heat of 6, and will be the fastest, that's for sure. All heats seeded from fastest to slowest. And Braden out there, good friend of yours, and we saw him do the athlete's oath earlier today, Alex Tuckfield from Southern Sydney.
Yeah, Alex Tuckfield, or Tuck Tuck as he's more formally known as around our group. He's going to be one to definitely watch over these championships, given that he is a Paralympic bronze medalist. But another one to watch is from the Flinders Club in Lane 0, who's actually coached by one of your former teammates, Chris Wright at Flinders Club, Callum Simpson. He's definitely someone to watch as well over the next coming days.
Yeah, so the guys come down in this second 50, all important point scores as well, but Tuck Tuck, as he's known in lane number 4, he's swimming pretty well. He's just put his head down, not breathing for that last 10 metres, so they'll come into touch. Have a look at those point scores, 736, Tuckfield, 652. So some pretty solid 735 out there in lane with Simpson. 735, it's pretty solid for a morning swim.
56.09. Very solid. Around that 56-second barrier as always. Tuckfield, see there, just the single point victory. Callum Simpson of Flinders, the 15-year-old in the S8 class. So no mucking around, that's for sure. In the hottest of our heats. No doubt we'll see plenty of them in action for tonight's finals. But behind the blocks now, we have the competitors in Heat 2.
They were in a bit earlier than Alan.
Second heat of 6 in the water. Going to be pretty quick as well. So away here in event 3, 1 lap dash. Girls 12 to 18 years, 50 breaststroke multi-class. As always, multi-class heats here swum as combined age groups. See it on the fastest to slowest time. So yeah, these are the quickest.
Mercedes Sacanto there for their SB17 classification, transplant classification, coming into the finish now. Fantastic swim there by Mercedes.
Sacanto there for Ipswich Grammar, the 17-year-old. Imogen Nolan there of Surrey Park, just 15. Score 5:48. The lead scorer in that opening heat. Nolan there in the SB15. Just ahead of her classification rival in Taylor.
I will tell you though, guys, that SB17 classification, they've been pretty busy over the last week over in Perth. They've been holding the Transplant World Championships. So I'm not sure if Mercedes was over there, but if she was, she's been a busy little bee the last 2 weeks.
This one behind the blocks now. We have the swimmers in Heat 2.
Heat 2 of the women's 50 breaststroke. Bit of a blanket field at the moment, looking good. Lots of many different classifications, but everyone looking close to, hopefully, everyone wants to touch the wall first, but obviously at the end of the day, it is that point score that gets you the glory at the end. So not always the first person to touch the wall that gets the ultimate win, but isn't it always nice to touch that wall first?
Yeah, nice to have, I guess, the seedings by time in the heats as well. So you're going to be against people that are around about the same, so it makes it quite competitive. You're going to have people right alongside you, regardless of their classification. You can see that there. Right, looks like Dullaway, 41.7 for a 4.27, and then Berryman, 41.9 for a 4.63. Jordan Berryman making the journey across the Nullarbor, UWA West Coast. Takes out that second heat. SA classification. So coming up next behind the blocks, we have the swimmers in heat 3.
Now, not every race that is being competed at the Age Championships over the next 2 days for our MC athletes are actually official Paralympic events that we'll see in Paris. But for our S6 athletes, like in lane 9 for Amelia Spangett-Kelly from City of Sydney, this is an event for her, in which an event that has actually gotten her on the Australian development team. So she's definitely someone to watch over the next couple of years for, hey, maybe Paris, but leading into LA as well.
Love it. Yep. Spangett-Kelly there in the SB6, 15 years of age from City of Sydney. First to touch on the wall, like Alyssa Gillespie, 14-year-old from Narrabeen. Narrabeen club, big resurgence, especially in the age championships. .343. There you go. Emily Spangett-Kelly, as Braden alluded to. One to watch out for, that's for sure. That SB6 classification. 522 points for 50.80. No doubt with that performance, we'll see her back in action in tonight's finals. On the box now, swimmers in the 4th and final heat. Girls 12 to 18 years, 50 metres breaststroke multi-class. This is it, last heat, last chance to qualify.
How did you guys go on 50 breaststroke? Were you guys breaststrokers?
That's a definite no from me. I was a bit of a backstroker. Definitely not the breaststroke, but these girls absolutely showing us how it's done. And out in lane number 1, Stella Flynn, SB6 athlete, like you were just saying before, Braden, this is Paralympic event. So she's only 15. She would have seen the heat before her, as these girls would see the times and the point scores before them. This is the 4th and final heat. So all trying to qualify for tonight in those finals, and let's see what they come down to touch and see what those point scores are.
So down on the wall, Dorothy Pascoe, North Albury, just 12 years of age. First to touch, 48.12, but the big points looks like will come to Emily Willett. Backing up again for Onka Paringa. A lot of these swimmers, multiple events here throughout our 2 and a bit days of multi-class competition. Very busy schedules So they should too. They train so hard. So just awaiting those official results from that last heat. The girls 12 to 18 years, 50 breaststroke, multi-class. Just a reminder that all those finals be contested this evening from 6 p.m. and they'll be divided into their age groups there, 12 to 13 years, 14 to 15 years, and 16 to 18 years. Also B finals as well, so plenty of fans in the stands as well, loving life. Lots of support from family, friends, and especially sponsors, aka mum and dad. And don't forget, if you're enjoying the coverage here on 9 Now, or here at the pool as well, Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, across all socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, hashtag AusAgeChamps. Let us know your thoughts.
And if you're taking any pictures of the beautiful Gold Coast here at the Southport Aquatic Centre, sun shining, take some pictures, tag us in it. Want to see what you're doing? Let us know.
I like it. Just got those official results there from that last heat. Cleared and away. Emily Willett. Busy morning already for Onka Paringa, 16-year-old with her second swim. 487 points. And behind the blocks now, we turn our attention to event 4. Heats of the boys, 12 to 18 years, 50 metres breaststroke multi-class. There'll be 4 heats for this event. Behind the blocks, heat 1. So away here, first of 4 heats in this 50 breaststroke. Great, and some red hot races here in this opening heat.
Yeah, we've got Riley Blitz blitzing it out in lane 3, but also Samuel Gould in lane 4. The big brother, the veteran of the S14 classification from Rackley, Helensvale. He's definitely one to watch in the pool right now, but definitely over the next coming days as well. I think he's going to be taking home a couple of gold little tickets around his neck.
They are shredding right now. They're in lane 3, Riley Blitz. Quick there, 34.08, 322, but the big points will go to the veteran, veteran at 17, Samuel Gould from Helensvale. Been around a while now. So our age group swimmers going all the way up to 18 years of age. That will be Samuel Gould there, S14 class, 565 points. Not a bad morning swim.
Fantastic morning swim. And this age championships for a couple of our athletes will be a bit of a warm-up event leading into the World Championships qualification meet that's happening next weekend. So for a lot of our athletes, this is going to be a part of their taper to hopefully clinch one of those coveted green and gold dolphin positions on the Australian Paralympic swim team for 2023.
Love it. Behind the blocks now, swimmers in Heat 2.
Heat 2 of the multi-class 50 breaststroke here. Megan, we heard that you weren't too much of a breaststroker, but Kurt, you're telling me you used to be a bit of a breaststroker, hey?
I only found out last week I still hold one record, and that is the Manly Swimming Club 8 years 50 breaststroke club record. So I'm actually doing a cap presentation tomorrow for the Manly Club. It's great to know that I've just got one record left.
Hey, record's a record. They're there to be broken, you still hold it, so you've still got it. And great swimming here in lane number 4, Smith. 260 points, he went 36.56, 378 work in lane number 5. So they would have seen the heat before them. He looks pretty happy about it too, Smith in lane number 4.
Yeah,
SB19 athlete.
Callum Simpson with a solid swim as well. Time, and so too Ethan Blocky backing up as well from Maxwell Marlins. His second swim for another good score, 4:21. They're busy this morning.
They're busy, but they've done the work, and it's clearly showing in their point scores and their times, with all those athletes backing up in quick succession from that 100 freestyle to 50 breaststroke. I definitely couldn't have done that back in the day, so these kids are definitely showing that there is some fantastic talent coming through the development pathways here for Swimming Australia. So looking very good for 2032 as well. Many of these athletes who are repping the club cap at the moment could be here for 2032 local games.
So beside the blocks now, we have the swimmers in Heat 3, the boys 12 to 18 years, 50 metres breaststroke multi-class. Tight one here in Heat 3. And that touch looks like it is Landon Smith there, Genesis, the 14-year-olds. 40.73, 353 points, but the highest point scorer again, Siddhant Sachdeva of the University of Queensland, backing up as well. All these swimmers trying to get through as many events as they can. Sachdeva there in that SB6 classification. Something close to a 600-point score, especially in the morning heats program. It's pretty solid. Results there on the screen. Now official for that third heat. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here from the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre or online, courtesy of 9 Now on this Good Friday. Behind the blocks now for event 4. It's our fourth and final heat of the boys, 12 to 18 years, 50 metres breaststroke multi-class. Last heat in the water. Braden, plenty of support out there for Noah Earn as well from the lower Blue Mountains, just 12 years of age.
12 years of age, first age nationals, good on him. Getting out there, doing the Blue Mountains proud. And also we have Albie Everett from the Maroochy River here for the SB6 classification, repping out from the Maroochy River, my home river. Plenty of good bream and fast fishing there, so if he's anything like the fish in that river, he's going to be absolutely smashing it this week as well.
Yeah, how exciting for these guys at Australian Age Championships 12 years old. Noah Earn going pretty solid in lane number 4. He's a SB14 athlete. See if he can sneak under that 50, and he has, and he went 46.96, 230 points, 340 points there for Everett, so, and 184 points for Jordan in lane number 5. So these guys pretty happy about it. That's your 4th and final heat of the 12 to 18 boys 50-metre breaststroke multi-class.
Yeah, good swim from Everett and from Marucci River gives the way. How do I get my hands on one of those Marucci River caps? They're my favourite so far. Loving the colours.
Hey, I love one too. I'm happy to be converted to Marucci River. I'm out there with the rod and reel, so hey, I'm happy to wear the cap as well.
I love a good cap, and that's been the best so far, but great support for all our swimmers out there. Our 50 breaststroke multi-class for the boys is done and dusted, and we move along in this program straight away to event 5. And it's the girls 12 to 18 years 100 metres backstroke multi-class. 4 heats for this event. Beside the blocks, swimmers in heat 1.
And this makes me pretty happy. The backstroke is in the house, and the women's, or the girls 12 to 18 years, 100-metre backstroke multi-class, and you've got 4 heats here at the 2023 Australian Age Championships. And we've seen some pretty good swimming so far on day number 1. These girls doing a fantastic job, keeping their head nice and still. Stroke rates looking pretty solid. Not too much sun around, which is really good for an outdoor pool. If you're swimming backstroke, you don't really want to be crisscrossing against that lane. You want to be nice and centre. As they turn over, they'll have 50 metres to swim. There will be Devisa in lane number 5. She split 35.83. So let's see what they've got holding on to this second 50 of the 100-metre backstroke.
Yeah, good insight, Megan. Talk to us about swimming the outdoor pool. Tougher for backstrokers or easier?
Absolutely tougher. I grew up pretty much in this pool anyway, so yeah, it's a little bit tougher, especially if there's sun, but they've got the tinted goggles now. You pretty much can practice outdoor unless you're in those cold weather, but keeping an eye out, keeping yourself in that centre of the lane, and just keeping an eye out on yourself. Don't worry about anyone else. Swim your own race. As they come down to touch, great point score, 622, 115.03. Devisa in lane number 5.
Davis there for Brisbane Grammar, first on the wall, but see that point score. She's got a 622. Crystal Jessen of Aquablitz, 16-year-old on a 6:15. Looks like it will be Davis from Brisbane Grammar. We'll wait those official results shortly. First heat of 4 here. This girl's 12 to 18 years, 100 backstroke multi-class. After our top 10 qualifiers from each of the age groups, 12 to 13 years, 14 to 15 years, and 16 to 18 years to contest the finals tonight. And B finals on offer as well, provided there's at least 24 in each of those age bands that contest the heats this morning. So results there on screen. Davis there in the S14 and Jessen. So both in the S14 class. Throw in Atkinson as well. Imagining they'll all contest that final tonight. And beside the blocks now, we have the swimmers in Heat 2. So into the second heat of 4, and well, from breaststroke to, like you're saying, backstroke. You're in the commentary with Megan Name, Braden Jason, and Megan, for you, obviously backstroke so dear to your heart. Two-time Olympic finalist and two-time Commonwealth Games gold medalist. Everyone forgets about that Commonwealth Games gold as well in the 4x2. You got some freestyle game.
Oh, I got some freestyle game. I used to do freestyle and backstroke. I don't really have a favourite, but these girls are absolutely doing a great job, and we saw them doing a few of them backing up from that 100-metre freestyle as well, so they can swim the 100 freestyle and the 100 backstroke. So these young girls getting some really good experience here, swimming as many events as you can, and at an H Nationals, it's really good to see. Especially on day one, got those nerves going, so great to see you can back up after a few races, and they're doing a great job coming down that second 50 out in lane number 6. Apthorpe is doing a great swim, so we'll see what these point scores come down to.
Holly Warren in lane 3 for the S7 classification. I've got a feeling that I reckon she's going to hit some pretty big points at the back end of this race, so she's going to be one to watch as she comes under the flags now, spotting them coming into the finish now.
Well, keep an eye on the points. Was Thorpe there, the 18-year-old from New Swim, first on to touch on 20.08, 269 points. There we go. Holly Warren. Braden's all over it. Teenager from St Hilda's. 714. That's the biggest points we've had so far of the morning?
I think it might be pretty close. I think maybe Callum Simpson and Alex Tuckfield may have hit that 750 mark, which is very high for that point score system. But 700 points, anything above that, you're looking to make a good dint in the Paralympic world. So very good swim there by Holly in lane 3.
You see there on the screen there, impressive display. That S7 classification, Holly Warren, getting her age Nationals off to a great start. And beside the blocks now, we have the swimmers in Heat 3 of this girls 12 to 18 years, 100 metres backstroke multi-class. So Heat 3 of 4 away, and Braden Jason here with us, two-time Paralympian. Braden, you got a couple of tips for us to look out for during this multi-class competition?
Oh, well, I don't want to give too much of my commentary tips away, but if we're seeing some low classifications in those middle fast lanes on time-wise, you know they're going to have some red-hot numbers coming out once they touch that wall there. Because obviously those lower numbers and those classifications are people with a more severe impairment. So if they're keeping up with the guys who are more physically capable than they are, then hey, they're obviously doing something fantastic in the water, which is obviously resulting in those 700 plus point scores, which is what everyone's kind of striving for.
All over it. Was impressive. Holly Warren in that last heat. Now, to this one. Scout Rosser out there. That's the S9 for Good Life. All these swimmers going against the world record in their allotted classification. The more sort of that world record they get, the more points they receive. This one with the highest points is the winner. Down here will be Rosser, the S9, 132.4, 388 points. Oh, all tight in the 300s for the moment. There we go. Outside, Lucinda Foley from UWA West Coast, the 18-year-old in the S7. A 403 point score. That's probably be enough to take out that third heat. Just wait for the official results. So just the one heat to come here for event 5. Got 10 events on this morning's program. Got anyone in that mixed 150 IM. So hit just about the halfway mark. Those results from that last qualifier up there, and behind the blocks now, swimmers in the 4th and final heat. This girl's 12-18 years, 100 backstroke multi-class.
Well, it's going to be a close race coming down here. One of the things with the Paralympic events here, the MC events, is that we're going to have many different classifications per heat, but we've got a pretty good heat here. We've got in lane 4, we've got a lane break with our S10 athlete, but then in 2 and 3, we have a battle against the S8s, but more closely, we have those S7s in lane 5 and 6 battling it out. It looks like it may be Emily Willett just nudging out the other S7 athlete at the moment. So if you're looking for who's going to touch the wall first, I'll be watching those lanes 2 and lane 3 and lane 5 and lane 6. So cheer on who you want to win. Let's go, guys. Sometimes it comes down to the points, but hey, sometimes it does count when you're racing against someone in the same classification.
So Giroud there, first on the wall. Now, Braden was talking about the race within a race between the S7s and the S8s. Willett there, making up for some more racing. So a 382. He's going to get it in that S7 classification. Graham just in the S8, so very close in the point scoring. Finishes off in that girls 12 to 18 years 100 backstroke multi-class. Finals to be contested tonight in those 12 to 13 years, 14 to 15 years, and 16 to 18 years age groups. Fans loving it here on the Gold Coast. Very good Friday. results there, official from that last heat. Now turn our attention back to the pool and on to event 6, heats of the boys, 12 to 18 years, 100 metres backstroke multi-class. 4 heats for this event, beside the blocks, heat 1. So the first of 4 heats in the water, and Braden here, all these heats ranked fastest to slowest, so the big guns come out early.
The big guns do come out early in those middle 3 lanes. We have Blitz, Bud and Gould. We've been hearing those names already. Day 1 heats here at the Australian Age Championships, multi-class in the first 2 days. But Blitz, as I was saying before, he's blitzing, he's out in front at the moment.
And we'll see them, I guess, in a couple of weeks' time as well when they come back for the Open Championships. A lot of these competitors backing up.
Yeah, a lot of these competitors will be backing up. I can almost guarantee I'll see Samuel Gould here, and all of us will be seeing him here on the 9 Now and Channel 9 broadcast as we broadcast across the next 2 weeks. So he's definitely going to be someone to watch who'll be vying for a spot onto that coveted Australian Paralympic swim team. Yeah,
World Championships coming up in Manchester in July, August. And that's the big team to make this year for our Paralympic hopefuls and our multi-class competitors.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those events you want to get under your belt leading into a Paralympic year next year as we have our first competitor touching the wall there.
Yeah, we've got Declan Budd there from Knox Pinball. First on the wall, 108.34, 577 score. It's going to be strong enough to take out this first heat, just over Sam Gould, Helensvale. Results there from that first heat on the screen. Bud and Gould having a great little tussle in that S14 classification. That'll continue no doubt in tonight's finals program from 6 p.m. And behind the blocks now we have the swimmers in heat 2 of the boys, 12 to 18 years, 100 metres backstroke multi-class.
Here we go. This is heat number 2 of the boys 12 to 18 years, 100 metre backstroke. We saw a pretty quick first heat. Let's see what these guys have got in the second heat. We've got lots of different classifications here, Braden. Some S9, S15, S8. Callum Simpson, we've seen him swimming pretty quick this morning on day number 1.
Doing fantastic, backing up first, second and third races. So obviously the lactate isn't hitting him very hard. I have heard rumours that he is focusing on the 400 freestyle, which is coming up at the back end of the program tomorrow. So I think if he's not going to be tired after already doing 3 races, he's going to be someone I'd be scared to race against in the 400 freestyle tomorrow for the S9 classification.
Yeah, and this is where it starts to sting a little bit. The last 15 metres of a 100 metre backstroke, that lactate is very much circulating the body. And out in lane number 5, Harry Keane from Wagga Wagga. He's going pretty solid here. And he'll touch in a 1:16.79, so 406 points for Keane. Very solid swim, 470 points for Rigby. So some pretty great point scores. S9 for Daniel Rigby out in lane number 1.
Yeah, nice little acknowledgement there.
It's always nice when you do a good heat swim, gets your championships off to a great start and all those training hours to get a really good personal best time.
Yeah, the Knox Pinball Club. Some strong depth. That's for sure. Just awaiting those official results from that second heat of the boys 12 to 18 years, 100 backstroke multi-class. Hope you're enjoying the coverage online, courtesy of 9 Now throughout Australia or the world. First day 1 of 9 here from our Australian Age Swimming Championships here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. It's live, it's in Queensland, across socials as well. Hashtag This Is Queensland, hashtag Oz Age Champs. And beside the blocks now we have the swimmers in Heat 3 of the boys 12 to 18 years, 100 metres backstroke multi-class.
Heat 3 getting into the water there for the men's MC 100-metre backstroke. Now, we've been talking a lot about points today, but if you guys don't know how the point score actually works, so 1,000 points, which is a lot of points, which is a very valid reason because it's actually calculated against that classification and that event's world record. So the fastest time swum of all time. So some of those points may be trickling in that 300 to 500 mark. That's compared against the fastest swimmer of all time in that race, in that classification. So I think any points on the board means that you're doing a pretty good job against that world record.
So Braden, if we do see the 1,000, that means what? A world record if we can get over 1,000 points?
If we're seeing points over 1,000 points, I think we'll sit in that chair. We won't jump out just yet until that gets confirmed. But that will be...
Get excited.
Yeah, I'd be getting excited. I think anything over that 1,000 mark, until it's confirmed is a world record, I don't think I'll be sitting in my seat for very long if I'm seeing that 1,000 points ticking over. And I think we'll be seeing a couple of those coming up with our open guys as well. A couple of world record holders with Benjamin Hands in this S14 100-metre backstroke. He's the S14 champion, reigning Paralympic champion as well, and world record holder.
Good to know. Great insight there. Braden Jason, two-time Paralympian, joining us in the commentary all week long. Liam Toga there from Knox Pinball. Goes to touch 119.34, 490 points. Had a good morning so far, Knox Pinball Club. And he'll take out that third heat. See him in action tonight in those finals as well. Results there. Heat 3. Toga takes it ahead of Smith and Graham. All these heats swum as combined age groups. And combined classifications as well. And beside the blocks now, we have our competitors in the fourth and final heat here of event 6. The boys 12 to 18 years, 100 metres backstroke multi-class. Last heat, Braden, last chance to qualify for those finals tonight.
Last chance to qualify. We've got S19 athlete in the middle in lane 4 with Haddock, who is sandwiched between the other S14 athletes. So that middle of the pool is going to be a good battle. Also with our S6 athlete in lane 2 and our S7 athlete in lane 6. So good range of classifications here, great athletes, and as you can see, it's looking like it's going to be gearing up to a close finish between the battle of our S14s in lane 3 and lane 5. Let's watch that closely.
And just a huge diversity here as well. Just again, just explain for especially those viewers at home, that difference between an S7 and an S19. So it's a big gap, isn't it?
Big gap, two definitely different impairments, two different disabilities. S7 classification is in that physical impairment, so an impairment that affects them physically, whereas our S14 and our S19 classifications have intellectual impairment. So it's focusing around that 75 IQ mark, with our S14 athletes being under that 75 IQ and our S19 athletes being over that 75 IQ barrier. But there's no barrier in the pool at the moment because they are battling it out to see who can touch the wall first between those S14 athletes. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to that point score. So let's see who's going to claim the last victory here in Heat 4 of the 100-metre backstroke.
Well, first on the wall victory will be Noah Earn from the Lower Blue Mountains, the 12-year-old. 139.4, 245. The point score. Oliver Martin there from Nudgee College. Score of 394 points. Battle coming down. Alexei Ulapov. Quinana. Over 230, but it looks like it will be Oliver Martin of Nudgee College. That S7 classification. For a score of 394. Take out that fourth and final heat of the boys 12 to 18 years 100 backstroke multi-class.
There definitely must be something in that last name of Martin for Nudgee College, because there's actually William Martin, who is the current Paralympic champion in the 100-metre butterfly and 400-metre freestyle, who also swims out of Nudgee College. So that last name must be something in it that makes you swim fast in that MC races here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre.
We'll chase that one up. The action keeps coming here on day one, heats program. Next up, event 7. It's the girls 12 to 18 years, 50 metres butterfly multi-class. 4 heats for this event. Behind the blocks, heat 1. So for anyone chasing those results here at the pool or online, watching on 9 now, you can hit the event page at the Swimming Australia website, or the w.swimming.org.au. Follow the links to our Australian Age Championships event page, and you can get the latest results right there, see who's qualified through to tonight's finals. And plenty of speed on early here in this first one. Megan.
There's some really good swims there. It's 560 points by Nicole Taylor in lane number 5, S15 athlete from Griffith here on the Gold Coast. So he's...
Might be a different Griffith.
Actually, yes, I just, as soon as I said that, careful. I've got to be very, very careful. That's 666 points by Hines as well. So great swimming by Madison Hines out in lane number 1, S14 athlete. So 33-1. That's the first heat here of the girls 12 to 18 years, 50-metre butterfly multi-class.
Yeah, Madison Hines there. Solid heat swim, nearing that 700-point score. And official results there on the screen. Confirm it. And I'll move along here behind the blocks. We will have heat 2 of the girls, 12 to 18 years, 50 metres butterfly multi-class.
Have a look, it's qualified.
We have quite a number of S19 athletes battling it out in this heat of the 50-metre butterfly at the moment. So it will come down to who is touching the wall first, besides our lanes 2 and 3 S9 athletes. Everyone looking very strong coming into that touch.
Close on the wall. It looks like Victoria Orlando Nicholson from Yeronga Park there in Brisbane. 34.68, 4:59. And that's all too famous. Green and gold cap.
Especially in the Paralympic world. Swimming out of Yeronga is Rowan Crothers, the Paralympic gold medalist in the 50-metre freestyle. So a little bit different to the 50 butterfly here. And also Katja Dedekin. But also newly announced our dual Paralympic head coach, Katie Sparks, is one of the coaches out of Yeronga Park. So obviously there's something in the water at Yeronga that's making these guys swim very fast.
It's the place to be. So official results there from that last one. Sarah Howe there from Ballarat. 4:18, that S9 classification. Move along here to Heat 3. The girls 12 to 18 years, 50 metres butterfly.
Here we go in heat number 3 in 50 metres, all important start, all important finish in the 50-metre butterfly. Especially these guys trying to come back for those finals tonight. So those finals will be in their age group and their classifications. So some of these guys are S10, S7, S14. So these classifications all together this morning. Doing a great job out in lane number 6, Savannah Maninga. And she's going to come down under the flags. All important point score as well. 542, so 35.45, so great swimming there. 425 for clean in lane number 3 as well. Summer's having a great swim.
Yeah, solid score, that's for sure. Savannah Manier of Mingara, 16 years of age, 5:42. She'll take out Heat 3 here. This girl's 12 to 18 years, 50 fly. Behind the blocks, Heat 4. Away they go, fourth and final heat here. Girls 12 to 18 years, 50 metres butterfly multi-class. Megan said looking to qualify for the finals tonight in those 3 age groups, 12, 13 years, 14 to 15 years, and 16 to 18 years.
Yeah, some pretty young girls in this one, 12, 13, 14-year-olds. So pretty young experience to be had here in lane number 4. She's doing a great swim. Lily Gould. But all-important point score as well. So this is the 4th and final heat, the 50-metre butterfly multi-class. So come down to touch at 3:14 and 42.50. So looks like it's under that PB for Gould in lane number 4.
Just 12 years of age, Lillian Gould from Helensvale. Stella Flynn outside from Leichhardt, the 15-year-old, 366 points. In that S6 classification. She's going to take out that final heat for the official results very shortly. So just awaiting the official results from that last heat of the girls 50 fly. We won't be too far away. See the boys on screen now. Next up, event 8. The boys 12 to 18 years, 50 metres butterfly multi-class. There'll be 5 heats for this event. Results there from that final heat of the girls on the scoreboard now. Behind the blocks now. Boys in heat 1. So boys away in this fastest of the heats. Braden, what do you got for us?
Look, we've got Bud, Blitz and Gould yet again in those middle lanes. Samuel Gould repping it out in that lane 4 out there for Rackley Helensvale. He's looking good at the moment, but that pink cap looks like it may be creeping up. Lane 5 looks like it may be coming down to the touch here. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, 28-2. Will be Declan Budd there from Knox Pimble, 684. Another solid heat swim for him. Being a very busy boy this morning.
I don't know how they're not tired. I'm in awe, in utter awe. I need to get some tips from these kids.
Well, definitely youth helps. Be nice to be 15 again.
It would be very nice, interest rates and all that nonsense, but these guys have obviously done a whole lot of work leading into this championships, and the proof is in the pudding. That is the multi-class point score.
Behind the blocks now, we have the swimmers in heat 2. Boys 12 to 18 years, 50 metres butterfly multi-class. So just sorting out one of our starters there while we've got the time. Big shout out, big thank you to our major partners here at Swimming Australia, including Arena, City Fertility, Tech Mahindra, the Australian Sports Commission, and the AIS, and our event partners in Tourism and Events Queensland, of course, Major Events Gold Coast, and Guzman and Gomez. Second heat in the water. Boys 12 to 18 years, 50 butterfly multi-class. Spots up for grabs in the final tonight. And those age groups, 12 to 13 years, 14 to 15 years, and 16 to 18 years.
Those top lanes looking very good coming into the finish here. Lane 3 looking extremely strong coming into that finish.
Yeah, again, another strong heat performance. Ethan Blocky there from the Maxville Marlins, 16-year-old. He's had a busy morning. Pumped up, 30.28, thumbs up. Why not? 553 points. Winners are grinners.
Don't we love to see how happy you can be after a PB? Love to see it. Love to see them swimming fast as well.
And next up, on the blocks, we have the swimmers in heat 3 of the boys, 12 to 18 years, 50 metres butterfly multi-class.
Move to heat number 3. 5 heats of the boys 12 to 18 year 50-metre butterfly multi-class. Have seen some pretty high point scores already. Looking pretty close here as we come down under those flags. A little bit of wind here going with the 50-metre events as well, so that's pretty handy. 453. Van Stralen in lane number 2. So Jaden having a really good swim, 14 years of age. So very quick, 32.37. Pretty high point score, and 336 for Smith out there as well. So those guys doing a great swim. That's heat number 3.
Oh, wind assistance. Take a look at those arena flags. They're ripping. So nice to have the wind at your back in these 50s. And Australia making the most of it. There we go. Takes out that qualifier. 453 points. Behind the blocks now, we have the swimmers in heat 4. So heat 4 of 5 in the water. Chances to qualify. Again, these swimmers backing up once more. Rigby of Knox Pymble, busy morning. 15-year-old. S9 classification. Be first to touch. We'll take a look at his score. 33.56, 426 points. And looks like that'll be enough to take out this 4th heat of the 50 fly. Back in action for a final tonight. So all these heats swum as combined age groups and classifications. Finals tonight start to divide them into their respective age groups, 12 to 13s, 14s to 15s, 16s to 18s. Official results there on the screen. Turn our attention on the blocks now. 5th and final heat. Last heat, last chance to qualify, Braden.
Last chance, but if there's a chance, you never know, you can always make it in. And with lots of athletes with obviously different classifications, but different age groups as well. We're racing with 12-year-olds racing against 18-year-olds. So once they're kind of divided up into the age groups, come tonight, I think it's going to be a red-hot race. Hopefully with the win, still have these athletes back, giving them every chance to hopefully get a PB and obviously as high as a point score as they can.
You can see that wind blowing. No worries with wind assistance. See the water rippling as well. And something Noah earned there. 12-year-old from the lower Blue Mountains. Quickest time, highest point score in this one, that S14 class, to round us out.
You'd think those Blue Mountains would be quite a regional town, but we have had Paralympic success come out of the Blue Mountains. We have Jenna Jones, who has actually moved from the Blue Mountains to the glorious Sunshine Coast, a bit 2 hours north from here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. And Jenna Jones is a 2016 Paralympian and also a Commonwealth Games athlete from last year in that S12 classification. So yet again, similar to Yeronga, similar to Helensvale, there must be something in the water in the Blue Mountains.
Good stuff. We'll move along to event 9. It's the girls, 12 to 18 years, 200 metres individual medley multi-class. 4 heats for this event. It's behind the blocks, heat 1.
Heat 1 getting underway in the women's SM classification, 200 metre IM. We have S15 athlete in lane 4, repping it out yet again. We have Nolan out there, and then the rest of our athletes. But the 200 IM is traditionally done with the 4 strokes for able-bodied and Olympic athletes, and also our SM multi-class athletes. But you may have seen a national icon in Grant Scooter Patterson, who competes in the 150 IM. You may be thinking, why are they doing 1 lap less? I'd like to do 1 lap less. 200 metres is a long way. But it's because in those lower classifications that Scooter is in, the 150 is available for athletes in that S1, S2, and SM3 classifications, because due to their impairment, the front strokes of butterfly and freestyle are quite similar. So they, instead of doing the same stroke twice, they rule them out. So as long as you do a stroke on your back for 1 lap, a breaststroke stroke for 1 lap, and then a front crawled stroke, then that makes up the 150 IM. But at the moment, we're turning into the 100 metre mark of our 200 metre race here at the 2023 Age Multi-Class Championships.
Yeah, good insight there from Braden Jason, 2-time Paralympian in the commentary booth alongside Megan Nair, 2-time Olympian, and Crystal Jessen here from Aquablitz, 16-year-old, off to a good start. See this lead change as the swimmers go through their strong and weaker strokes. At breaststroke, the slowest of all 4 strokes. If it's your strength, you can really extend that lead. If it's, or make up a lot of ground as well, as we're seeing now.
Obviously, when you were 8, you were obviously going pretty well in that breaststroke leg there, Kurt. We heard earlier, if you're just tuning into the live stream broadcast here on 9 Now, Kurt Hansen, my co-commentator, still holds the under 8 record for the 50 metre breaststroke. So he would have been strongest, but obviously not as fast as any of these women coming down the stretch here in that last lap. Freestyle turning into that 25 metre mark for some of these athletes in the 200 SM classification, the 200 IM.
Yeah, thanks, Braden. And you promised me that's the last we'll ever hear of it ever again. But really impressive display coming down under the flags now. It will be Kale Thompson here, 16-year-old from Sunshine Coast Grammar. 6:68, solid heat swim, 2:38.28. Going against that world record in the S14 classification. Swim there. Madison Hines had a busy morning for Hornsby. This will be the last event for these girls of the morning's heats. So a bit of an opportunity to give it everything you've got, knowing you've got a bit of time to recover.
That's it, bit of time to recover. Maybe get some Guzman Egg Gomez into you. Good source of protein, good source for recovery, bit of carbs. So some of these athletes may be getting into that, but definitely having a much earned rest coming into some potential finals tonight for, I dare say, a lot of these athletes who are doing a phenomenal job here in Heat 1 of the 200 IM women's race this morning.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the recovery process in between heats and finals as we start to draw near. Just waiting the official results from that first heat of 4 in the
girls 12 to 18 years, 200 individual medley. Then we'll be followed by our last event of the morning. That'll be the boys 12 to 18 years, 200 IM, multi-class. So results there on the screen. As we see there of Trinity Grammar, the 16-year-old, is 14. Takes it out with 621 points. And turn our attention now behind the blocks. Swimmers in Heat 2. This girls 12 to 18 years, 200 metres, individual medley multi-class. Second heat of 4 underway. Girls 12 to 18 years, 200 individual medley multi-class. And Braden, our stats guru here in the multis. What do you got for us?
I think my pick here will be Jordan Berryman coming out of lane 7 here with the SM8 classification. I think the top point score potentially coming into this, maybe not the first one touching into the wall because every classification is based off a differing world record. But we've got some fantastic athletes repping it out here in the middle of the pool, but definitely keep an eye out on that lane 7, Jordan Berryman. That's my pick.
Yeah, all the way from UWA West Coast, one of the strongest clubs in Western Australia, if not the strongest.
They do breed them different, definitely over in Perth. I was mentioning before, Paralympic champion Ben Popham. He comes over from UWA every year. So making his way over again for the open multi-class Paralympic qualification for World Championships at the back end of next week. So obviously something's going on well over in WA, like the rest of the country. So as we come into that turn, we're seeing our athletes about to go into Kurt's favourite leg, which is the breaststroke leg.
Jasmine Fulgrab there from Marion, South Australia. 17-year-old with a handy lead. An opportunity for these girls to qualify for those finals tonight. Again, if you've just joined us here on 9 Now, at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. What's happening? Well, all our heats this morning swum in combined age groups and combined classifications, but finals tonight will be contested in the 3 age groups, 12 to 13 years, 14 to 15 years, and 16 to 18 years. We'll also have some B finals there for the 50 and 100 metre events, as long as there were 24 competitors in each of the heats in their finals age bracket.
And for those at home who are unfamiliar with the classification system, you will see an SM next to the competitor's name, S meaning swimming, M meaning medley. So it's swimming, medley, and then their classification, which ranges from SM1 to SM19, which is obviously the variant of each person's individual impairment, whether that be physical, intellectual, visual, and also auditory.
Yeah, great insight there. And coming down first to touch will be Jasmine Fulgrab for Marion. Takes it out, the 17-year-old, 254.50, 576 points. Because that point score derived from their time up against the world record in their allotted classification. And it does look like Jordan Berryman. There's a reason why we've got Braden here on the commentary team. He's picked another winner. 596 points for Berryman at 304.54. information there, Berryman, in that SA classification. Takes it on points, just 20 points better than full grab in the S9 class. As they exit the water, they turn our attention behind the blocks. Swimmers in heat 3 of event 9 here, the girls 12 to 18 years, 200 metres individual medley multi-class. Third heat hits the water. Always swimmers' names and lanes. See on the scoreboard or on the side of screen if you're watching on 9 now. Great to have you with us for our day 1 coverage of the Australian Age Swimming Championships. Kurt Hansen joining you in the commentary. Alongside 2-time Olympian Megan Ney, 2-time Paralympian Braden Jason. Megan, for you, for these swimmers, a lot of them, 2-3 races this morning and then probably 2-3 finals tonight. What's process here in between heats and finals?
Yeah, pretty good to see these young guys, especially at Australian Nationals, attacking, 1, 2, 3 races a session. Really important to grab some recovery in between. Probably the biggest thing, have a little sleep, have a little rest, get off your feet. Put your feet up, relax, and don't think about swimming at all in between races, in between sessions. So they can just rest up, fuel their body with some really good food, hydrate, and yeah, just get off the legs and ready for those finals tonight, which will be starting from 6 p.m. here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. This is the 2023 Australian Age Swimming Championships, and I love to see a 200 IM, and you see the lead change at different times, and you see which athlete uses the strength. Their butterfly might be better, their backstroke, different strokes, different strengths as they come down. This will be the halfway mark of the 200 IM. And this is heat number 3. And they'll go through 131.33. Herden in lane number 6.
Yeah, Rosanna Herden from Coffs Harbour, just 13 years of age. Great to see Coffs here. Got a small but select team, several swimmers.
She's taking it out pretty quickly into that breaststroke. And really good to see, 13 years of age. And right next to her, Pascoe in lane number 5, only 12 years of age, so really good to see experience. First age nationals, maybe their first or second age nationals as they go through those age group ranks. Nice little battle out the front, but S7 athlete in lane number 8, Emily Willett. So look out for her point score at the end of this race as well. Multiclass racing on these point scores, trying to get a final spot tonight in their age group. So they'll touch here and they'll have one more lap to swim in that freestyle.
Yeah, Willett's had a great morning for Onka Baringa, the 16-year-old. Keep an eye on her point score and also the green and gold cap. As Braden was alluding to before, Yeronga Park, Emily Jones looming large here, the 16-year-old in the middle as well.
Looking very good in the middle of the pool. Also fantastic breaststroke leg from our SM6 athlete, Amy-Lee Springett-Kelly, coming in there, who we were talking before made her Australian development team in that breaststroke leg. So she's definitely one of those strong breaststrokers. It's evidently proven that as she's made her way back into contention for hopefully a really good point stall, as our middle laners are coming under the flags at the moment.
Yeah, tight to touch. First on the wall, the Rosanna Herden of Crofts Harbour, 306.82, score of 224. Jones there, 457 points with a 308.04. She's got some points in them. So Ali Green there of Asham. And some big points coming. As Braden alluded to, Emily Springett-Kelly, 15 years of age, one of the rising stars to look out for. And shows why there with a 325.04, 640 points. Very impressive after a busy morning of racing for the 15-year-old in that SM6 classification. Looks like she will be the highest point scorer quite comfortably in this third heat of 4. Won't be too far away from the official results. Now, final heat coming up as that wind continues to strengthen here, but just had a little bit of rain to start with. It's been quite nice since the East Coast set to get a little bit of a wild weather on this Good Friday. Not here on the Goldie though. Springett Kelly takes out that one, and we turn our attention now. Next up will be the fourth and final heat here of the girls, 12-18 years, 200 metres individual medley multi-class.
As we look to the fourth and final heat of the girls, 12-18, 200 individual medley multi-class. They've had some pretty quick and some pretty big point scores in the first three heats, so these girls having a nice little battle here in the backstroke as that wind does come down. Might help them a little bit in the backstroke. Trying to swim in that center of the lane in that backstroke is pretty important. These girls trying to get under their personal best times as well, so we'll see how they progress through the backstroke. They'll swim breaststroke and freestyle to finish this off here at the Australian Age Swimming Championships.
Yeah, come down halfway mark, completion of this backstroke leg. In front will be Evie Lee, 13-year-old from Geelong. Right alongside her, Sienna Durkin. For Nepean, 15 years of age, and Lee in the SM19 classification, Durkin in the SM14.
Geelong, what a beautiful part of the world. Great AFL team as well, so they're doing pretty well. Swimming Evie Lee's taken off in the breaststroke a little bit. She's only 13, so she's having a great experience. Don't forget about Lexi Phillips in lane number 6 and Stella Flynn, our SM6 and SM7 athletes, so that watch out for their point scores at the end.
A few cheers from the crowd cheering for Lexi. Got a big backing, so hopefully we can get her across the line. It coming into that back end of the breaststroke leg at the moment, but definitely keep your eye on that lane 6 and lane 7 especially with our SM6 athlete. Just coming in almost under the flags in that breaststroke leg as our middle markers are just about to head across the 25-metre mark to wrap up the women's 200-metre IM here this morning.
Yes, as we've alluded to all morning long, not always the first person to touch the wall that will take the win. Racing against the world record in your allotted classification. The closer to that world record you get, the more points you are awarded. Storming home. On the line, Giroud there for Randwick City in lane 3. It's like first to touch the wall. Giroud S10 class. 327.47 for 340 points. See some larger points drop here. Phillips and Flynn. Wait to see. And it will be. So Lexi Phillips, the Castrian, 14 years of age. 447 point score for her 340.32. And Stella Flynn just behind that in her S6 class with a 433 point score. 23.49. So it will be Lexi Phillips there, takes out that final heat. The girls 12 to 18 years, 200 metres individual medley multi-class. Zero back in action in tonight's finals program. That's for sure, especially in that 14 to 15 years age group. We'll move along. Looks like our last event of our day one heats program here. 2023 Australian Age Swimming Championships, and it's event 10. Qualifiers for the boys, 12 to 18 years, 200 metres individual medley multi-class. There'll be 4 heats for this event. Behind the blocks, heat 1.
As we see Darren Sisman hitting the wall first there in lane 4, coming out of Engadine. He trains under Craig Stevens, the former Olympic swimmer, Australian great swimmer, who's obviously imparting his knowledge onto Sisman in that lane 4 in the SM14 classification. The 200 IM is a Paralympic event here for our SM14 athletes. So Darren Sisman is clearly showing that he wants to put his hand up and say, hey, I'm putting in the hard yards under a former Olympian, hopefully to become a future Paralympian in future years as he comes into that touch, coming into that breaststroke leg now.
Yeah, going with him in lane number 5, Gould. He's been busy this morning as he's got his stroke rate up pretty high in lane number 5 in that breaststroke, but he's got a pretty good lead Sisman in lane number 4. So these athletes going against their world record, as Braden said, so watch out for those point scores over halfway in this 200 metre individual medley. Day number 1 here at the 2023 Australian Age Championships. And he's just chasing him down, Sammy Gould in lane number 5.
Yeah, fantastic breaststroke leg. He may actually come down to the touch here and touch first. No, it is Sisman touching first. It's going to be a battle for this freestyle leg for the 2 SM14 athletes. They're stroke for stroke, almost looking like a synchronized swimming competition at the moment. But in fact, it is an Paralympic swimming race here for our SM14 athletes. It's going to be close. It looks like Gould is going to potentially touch out. No, in fact, it's actually Sisman. Sisman is using the knowledge from Craig Stevens, Olympian, to come under the flags and take out this 200 IM SM14 race, Heat 1.
Yeah, great little duel there. 2 S14 swimmers. Be Darren Sisman, 16 years of age, from Engadine. 727. So again, one of the highest point scores we've seen this morning. Happy with that heat swim, and Goulden get to have another go at it tonight.
Yeah, really good sportsmanship there between Sisman and Gould. Just giving each other a little pat on the back. So they're pushing each other, those S14 athletes, which is really nice to see, pushing each other to achieve their best.
Yeah, Sisman 16, Gould 17, so they'll be both in that 16 to 18 years final this evening. It should be one of the highlights from our night 1 finals competition. Which results from that first heat. See there, the battle between the 2 very talented S14 athletes. Turn our attention now behind the blocks. We have the competitors in Heat 2 of this boys 12 to 18 years, 200 metres individual medley multi-class. So second heat of 4 here, looking for qualifiers through the final tonight. The boys 12 to 18 years, 200 metres individual medley multi-class. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here, courtesy of 9 Now. Live and exclusive from the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre for the next 9 days straight. Don't go anywhere. It's been, well, not just a good Friday, it's been a great Friday so far. Some brilliant racing. And these swimmers looking to qualify for those finals tonight. 12 to 13 years, the 14 to 15 years, and the 16 to 18 years.
Out in front is our SM8 athlete in Callum Simpson from Flinders Aquatic up on the Sunshine Coast. He trains under another Olympian, Chris Wright, so there must be in something training under an Olympian, imparting that knowledge, which is clearly showing as Callum Simpson is taking it out in lane 4 in that SM8 classification, but also closely followed by a number of our SM9 athletes. So it's definitely going to be a close match between them coming into our freestyle leg, but we have the breaststroke leg coming up first as we come into the turn after a very strong backstroke swim there by Callum Simpson in lane 4.
Yeah, the 15-year-old in Simpson leads the way, 1:17.42. They tell me, Chris Wright, the facilities that he has up there, that pool is one of the most beautiful in the nation. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful facility in Budrum, the old stomping ground where I am from. I didn't go to Matthew Flinders, which is the what kind of private school that is there, that the Flinders Aquatic Centre is based out of. Fantastic school and obviously producing some fantastic athletes. And used to be coached by former Paralympian Rick Pendleton, funnily enough. So Rick was the former coach at Flinders. He was a 4-time Paralympian. So obviously his legacy is living on with Chris Wright, and the proof is now with Callum Simpson, who is taking it out and is going to come down with a fantastic point score as he is nearing the end of the last 25 metres of this freestyle leg in the 200 IM. I think this could be one of the best point scores, not just of this race, but of the morning. So definitely keep an eye out on Callum's score. But the other athletes are hotly on his tail and hopefully going to put down and throw down a fantastic point score as well.
Loving it, Callum Simpson down here. How close to the 800s can he get? Oh, just outside, so 667 points. Solid swim, that's for sure. 240.24. SM8 classification. Hamish Keenan there from Swimland. 14-year-old. Scored in the 453 points. Going to be second. But they'll both be back in action tonight as well, and especially for Callum Simpson. That 14, 15 years age group going to be very hard to stop. Plenty more fans in the stands, loving life, lots of support. Just like the official results from that last heat. Boys 12 to 18 years, 200 individual medley multi-class. We'll have 2 more heats to follow that to round us out for our day 1 competition. See here, a little bit of breeze, not too much doing in the warm-up pool at the moment. Pretty chilled on our Good Friday coverage. I hope you're enjoying it.
Pretty nice to see that warm-up pool. We're very lucky here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. 2 50-metre pools. Nice little warm-up, nice little competition pool. As we see the official results there for heat number 2 of the boys 12 to 18 years, 200 individual medley multi-class.
Yeah, there's a beautiful facility here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, and really, well, no doubt now Queensland is the home of swimming, that's for sure, especially with the Olympics coming in under a decade now to Brisbane, 2032. The countdown is on, and future stars on show right here. Move along now. Beside the blocks, we have our swimmers in Heat 3 of Event 10 here. The boys 12 to 18 years, 200 metres, individual medley multi-class. So just 2 heats to finish us off here on our day 1 morning program. Boys 12 to 18 years, 200 individual medley multi-class, looking to qualify for tonight's final. Braden, what else? What do you got for us?
Oh, what do I have? I have lane 2, 3 and 4. We have our S14 athlete derby in this heat 3 of the 200 IM. They're going to be a battle to watch in the back end because, as I've been saying across the morning, it's not always the first person to touch the wall, given that everyone is under a different classification. But in those lanes 2, 3 and 4, they are all in that SM14 classification. So let's keep an eye out of those athletes, but don't rule out those other athletes because, hey, they could be scoring a point score that could put them in contention for not just a gold medal, but into that hotly contested final coming up tonight.
You never know, that's for sure. Great little tussle in the middle of the pool at the moment. Knox Gibson of Orange, 15 years of age, and up against Landon Smith from Genesis. Two very different classifications, but SM9 here for Gibson. Wow, powering away early. Handy lead at the halfway mark. Smith there in second spot. And battle for third. Looks like out wide there. Humphrey Travers from CQ Aquajets.
Yeah, doing a really good swim there. Knox Gibson in lane number 5, our SM9 athlete. So he's had a really good start, really good butterfly, solid backstroke, and going pretty great in this third 50 of the 200-metre individual medley, the breaststroke here. And right next to him, Landon Smith, SM14 athlete, trying to stay with him, trying to get their point scores as high as they can. They want to try and come back and have another shot tonight for those finals. As they come down, they'll have one more lap to swim, and it looks like Smith has just taken over. So let's see if Gibson can stay with him. They're pushing each other, different classifications, but also pushing each other to be the best they can be, and their point score and their times. So really good to see here in the third heat of the 200 IM.
Incredible freestyle leg there by Smith in lane 4. This could be a potentially finals placing point score here for lane 4 athlete as we come down to the touch.
Well, definitely the wall slam of the morning. Ripped that touchpad. 419 points, a 250.39. Knox Gibson there. SM9 class. 15-year-old from Orange with a 434. 256.24. Don't forget all those results on track on the swimming website. Find those qualifiers for tonight's final. Just go to the event page, www.swimming.org.au. Look those up. Finals here from the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre from 6 p.m. If you can't make it here to the pool, it's live and exclusive on 9 Now. Results there from that third heat. Gibson, 434 points. Here's this 9 classification. And turn our attention to our final event here on our Day 1 heats program. It's the fourth and final heat. This boys 12 to 18 years, 200 metres, individual medley multi-class. And away we go. Time flies when we're having fun. One last race for the morning.
I'll tell you who is having fun. Lane 5, we have Oliver Martin. The SM7 has had an absolute blinder of a heat session, collating some fantastic point scores, and I think he's definitely going to be someone to watch, not just at the back end of this event, but throughout the next couple of days, as we also see our athletes from Campbelltown and from the lower Blue Mountains, taking it out in lanes 3 and 4.
Yeah, Martin, just 15 years of age, out of Nudgee College, just outside of Brisbane.
Just outside of Brisbane. I trained at a Nudgee for 2 years, and also our commentator who will be joining us on Sunday. You may have heard of her. Her name's Emily Seabom. Fantastic athlete, backstroker. So I'm sure for those backstroke events, we can have Megan Nay and M. Seabom impart all of their backstroke knowledge, because I was by no means, by any stretch of the imagination, a backstroker. So those girls will be giving you all of the backstroke tips, tricks and tidbits to hopefully get you potentially on the Australian swim team in the future, just like all of these athletes are vying to be doing over the next couple of days and also into the future.
Speaking of backstroke, these guys doing a great job as they come down nearly halfway, and it has been Noah Earn in lane number 4. I can see some Go Noah signs up there, so he's got a great support, and he'll turn halfway, and Oliver Martin just behind him. So these boys doing a great job. Jordan Kuhn in lane number 3 as well. So let's see what they've got on the breaststroke. All different classifications. We've got SM9, SM14 and SM7. So really good display of our multi-class swimming here in the 4th and final heat on day number 1. So point scores on offer, and seeing if they can sneak into the finals tonight in their respected categories. So coming down, and it has been Noah out in lane number 4.
And also welcome to national competition for our athletes in lane 3 and 4, given that they're at the ripe young age of 12, which is the first age that you guys can join the age championships. So congratulations for those 2 athletes for making it into their first age national event, but also absolutely dominating it as they round out the breaststroke leg of our final event here on day 1.
It's always fun when you get to turn for home. Just the freestyle remaining now. And Noah Earn here, 12 years of age, lower Blue Mountains, busy morning. SM14 classification. Trying to finish strong.
And as we see Noah Earn come to the back end of this race in the SM14 classification, as we've been saying across the morning, it doesn't matter who touches first, it comes down to the point score, as we see Oliver Martin bringing in those legs in the last 10 metres. And I think he's going to put down some fantastic points to make that 200 IM final, as coming into the touch now.
So yeah, Earn their first on the wall, 263 points, but the score will go to Oliver Martin. So Braden said, had a great morning, 15-year-old from Nudgee College, 395 points for his 3:23.06. So that's a wrap. It looks like we're on the house here, just doing a quick swim off, but online. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage, courtesy of 9 Now. So a big thank you, shout out to all our major partners of Swimming Australia, Arena, City Fertility, Tech Mahindra, Australian Sports Commission, and the AIS, and our event partners in Tourism and Events Queensland, Major Events Gold Coast, and Guzman y Gomez. A big thank you to the Australian Sports Commission and the AIS, Arena, City Fertility, Tech Mahindra for their support of Swimming Australia. And big thank you to that Major Events Gold Coast, the amazing team at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre here for hosting our swimming in our hometown, and we couldn't think of a better place to be than Australia's favourite playground. Don't forget, you can discover fantastic things to do, places to go, and more things to stay and watch on the Gold Coast. Visit allthews.destinationgoldcoast.com. It's the 2023 Australian Open and All-Age Swimming Championships, supported by the Queensland Government through Queensland and Events Tourism. Of course, featuring It's Live in Queensland on the events calendar. A reminder again, everyone watching online, big thank you, whether you're watching throughout Australia and the world, and a reminder that we will be back here this evening, 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, for our Day 1 finals program for the 2023 Australian Age Swimming Championships and multi-class athletes. So on behalf of the entire commentary team, I'm Gert Hansen, Megan Nay and Braden Jason. A big thank you, and a big thank you to our technical officials as well for their efforts across this morning's Day 1 Heats program. We now invite them to leave from pool deck.